Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Community Talk Show called Let's Talk About It, where we focus on issues affecting our communities and much more. I am your host, Sheree Vaughn, and today I have with me a returning guest. She is a mother, an entrepreneur, and a founder and president of Kid Explosion. Welcome, Carlena.
Well, hello. Good day, afternoon. Hi. Glad to be back.
Girl, I was just sitting there thinking, and I was just like, wow, it has been 11 years since we did that interview together. That not only
Yeah.
was blasted everywhere, it was featured on Media Takeout, it was featured on I Love Old School Music. And you know what? I didn't even know. I had people send me links to say, hey, Sheree, you are featured here, which is cool. But you guys, please let me know if you take my link so I can share your site as well, you know? But yeah, so it is so much to talk about that we want to talk about. But the main thing is speaking about an update on Good Times, the movie.
Yes, absolutely. So, for the last 11 years, I have been on the forefront of the Good Times estate. And so, when we spoke some years ago, I had just claimed the rights. We had a fresh movie deal, I believe, with SONY. So, it was some time ago, and a lot has changed since then. But here we are now, fast forward, it's 2024, and there is an alleged animation being produced by Sony that the family, we are absolutely not, uh, what's the word I want to use? We're not for this. We have not been paid for it, of course. We have not given approval or permission for it. And furthermore, understanding the content of this particular animation in question, it is not at all what we would like it to be from the family. It is derogatory, it's racist, honestly. They have Miss Florida is a stripper, apparently. Michael is a drug dealer. They use language that we would not, and it's not at all what Good Times is, nor should it be put out, to be honest. So I'm doing this interview to be clear that Mike Evans' family, as well as Eric Monte's family, we are not in support of this animation. And if it is released, and if it comes out, I want it to be very, very clear that we were not behind this. And obviously, it will be handled and dealt with as it should be. We'll just say that.
And I personally agree with you wholeheartedly. I am appalled when you hit me up about this information on Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, girl, let's do it because that is a classic. You don't mess with a classic. You don't. And especially
Yes.
and especially with creating it in a way that is not positive for the community or for the kids, especially you said it's animation. So of course kids are going to be interested in watching that.
Yep. Yep. Understatement. Yep. Well, it's offensive for so many reasons. Because, of course, understanding Mr. Eric Monte created this show along with my father. The show is about Mr. Monte's life. So he is from Cabrini Green Projects in Chicago. A lot of those characters are people he knows. Then when you think about the characters and who they are, um, anything contradictory to that is not okay, especially if it's kind of poking fun at being poor. It's just everything about it. So the reality is, it was African Americans that created this brand, and so this is kind of the thing that happens, right, or can happen when it's not us controlling our images. So us as a whole, African Americans, we must make sure that it's us, right, writing this content, putting it out. And even if we are going to poke fun at poverty or make light of it, even then it needs to be not like this. This is honestly another level of ratchet. I have seen the script. I have seen what the family looks like in animation for. It is very ratchet and hood, and I'm just hoping they don't actually put this out because it's mind boggling how far they went to be derogatory towards the original family. It's just it's like what like just again how is it can Florida be a stripper like how is that even how where do you get that from? She's such an amazing staple to the family, holding that family together. Everything about her character is good, and then they just took that and said, oh, we're just gonna make her a stripper. And even in the picture, the like the actual animation, she has a blonde wig, in a large behind, and it's not okay. Nothing about this is okay. It's very disrespectful to the brand, to the family. And again, we are not for it. And obviously, we're working, behind the scenes to ensure that this project is not hopefully seen, to be honest, that it's not even put out.
I agree. I agree. And my mission is to get this out to everybody as much as possible because this is it's just not right. I did some research and of course I saw the photo, that you sent to me. But um, it's alleged that Sony has been trying to put this out and they had a release date for this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, what also is very important to know that is relevant is when they first had a press release about this in 2020, our attorneys immediately sent, and said, "What is this?" And we were told there is no production.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be very clear that from all legal purposes, this does not exist because the attorneys were told that there is no Good Times production taking place. This was in 2020. Now, here we are, fast forward 4 years, and I'm aware of various things that have taken place on this production that legally is not even technically happening. So that's how fuzzy all of this is. We're told it doesn't exist at all. Yet there's still been multiple press releases coming out. So it's already being done
Mm-hmm.
very crooked, right? Very crooked, very shady, illegal, all of that. But the point is, if it does manage to come out, it's just not a good. It's not a good look for them. It's just not. All they're doing is offending people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're offending the original, the fans of the show, the people who love and adore the show. I get it. I guess they're trying to have a new young audience. It's just it's not done well, tasteful,
Right.
or even smart.
Right.
I, and I get it. Listen, I'm younger, right? So I get that you're trying to, but it's no. All they're doing, honestly, is poking fun, making fun of poverty, making fun of black people, and it's just it's not there ain't nothing good about it. It's embarrassing. It's disrespectful. It's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. So even I'm just in shock. My own stuff. Like you know what? I've dealt with some stuff over the years with the things that they do. Very unethical. They do all kind of stuff. I'll say that without being direct. But this is like a new low.
Mm.
This is a new low for them.
Right, right. And just to rewind just a little bit for those who don't know or didn't catch the first interview that I had with you, you are the daughter of a legendary Mike Evans who played Lionel from The Jeffersons, and he, along the side, Eric Monte, who the story Good Times is based upon, you guys have the rights to Good Times.
Correct, and even that is amazing. So, what happened is in the 70s, Mr. Monte and my father they were writing and creating these shows. Okay, all of them, honestly, from Jefferson's to Sanford and Son. They're like in the back, but unfortunately, especially at that time, they were not getting credit. Okay,
Mm.
proper credit for these creations, and let's just tell it what it is. Mr. Monte, you can look him up and find him saying clearly that speaking ill will, on Mr. Lear again, and I won't speak, that's his stuff, but he has said, things. the fact is, in 1978, he sued them. Okay, he
Mm-hmm.
sued the production companies, NBC, CBS, he sued everybody. And it was very difficult because for him to do that, he was obviously blackballed from the industry. Well, the good news is he won. And because he
Wow.
won, they had to give rights to Mr. Eric Monte along with my father. So even I sit in an amazing seat because I'm grateful for Mr. Monte because he fought. You see, my father at the time he was still acting on the shows and he did not sue. So the reason that we have those rights is honestly because of Mr. Monte's his fight, and
Wow.
we respect that. And now here we are years later. Unfortunately, it's again mind-boggling, but Sony does like to attempt because they can't deny it, but they do attempt to act like it didn't happen. And so that's very wrong. And again, I would love to go deep into this, but for
Right.
purposes of, I'm just going to keep everything on the surface. But those rights are very much there, very much real. And any reboot or recreation of Good Times, we do need to be, obviously, we need to agree. We need to be paid. We need to license it off. And that is with any recreation. Now,
Right.
I will be clear the production itself, okay, was, of course, Acme Productions with Mr. Norman Lear. And they owned the show itself, which makes sense because it was funded, it was paid for. So anything pertaining to the actual television show, yes, they can lease it out. And the show itself was sold to Sony in 2009. So just to be clear on how this all works, the television show is owned by Sony, okay? But the intellectual property is owned by Mr. Eric Monte and Mike Evans. That means that if you want to recreate anything on this brand, that includes a television show, that includes animation, that includes merchandise, that includes everything. Anything that you recreate, you do need to go back to the intellectual property. Okay? And we've had deals throughout the year. So you may have watched in 2019, they did the live show with Good Times, and there was a lot of great, man. Miss Patti LaBelle was
Mm-hmm.
there, and Anthony Anderson and Tiffany Haddish played in it, Viola Davis played Florida. It was amazing. That was licensed. That was done correct, properly, decent, and in order. We signed off, we agreed, and we attended. Okay, so Sony knows very well who has the right. They've dealt with us for years, right? We sign off, we agree, we do something. It's just unfortunately now, I don't know what has taken place, but they may feel like, oh, well, we don't want to do that. It could have something to do with content, right? Because the fact is, we wouldn't sign off and agree to this. So perhaps they feel like, well, let's just not do that. Let's not get them to, because we know they're not going to, and we're going to do what we want. And perhaps that's their method or logic behind all of this. There's all kinds of different the theologies. I don't know, but regardless, whatever the thought process, it's just not a good look for them. It's not a good look for Black people. It's not a good look for the brand. I just don't think it was smart or wise for them to spend their money on a project of this nature.
Wow, wow. Well, thank you so much for that information and for breaking it down to us so that we can completely understand the difference between the two. And also about stating that your father also wrote for Sanford and Son, which I don't think I was aware of that. I mean, that's awesome. That is a classic show as well. And going back a little bit now, there was supposed to be a Good Times, the movie that was supposed to be filmed. What happened with that?
Actually, yes. I don't want to admit it was me, but it was me. Okay, so I am the reason.
Okay.
I am the reason. It was me, y'all. Goodness. I did not want to. I did not. I chose not to relinquish the rights to Sony. Okay, so the reason that that movie did not take place is because I chose to keep our intellectual property rights.
Okay. Okay. Now, was there something that you didn't agree with that made you make that decision of not going forward with the movie?
Yes. And it wasn't the movie itself. Clearly, I'm all for the movie, but I was not all for the right. And everyone involved was aware of that.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. All right, you guys. Well, there you have it. Sony's trying to put out a GT animation that is targeting Black people in not the most positive light, and we don't need any more of that. And so
ooh,
definitely,
there it is.
okay, go out. Like I said, you guys can do your research on that as well. And going
Yes,
forward, if
please
they
do.
decide to push it through, you know what to do. And they're gonna do what they need to do as well. Wow,
Yeah.
it's terrible. We're gonna hope and pray that everything works out with that. And so we also want to touch bases on this kid explosion that you have. That's also worldwide. One thing I like about it is that you started home. You didn't just leave,
Yes, of
and started someplace else, but you started at home from Georgia, and it's branched out, it's all over, and it's called Kid Explosion. I see that on Instagram. It has 6.9 million followers, and you have a mission statement that says that you guys are using music, dance, and drama to help disadvantaged street and orphan children. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Okay, so well, the 6.8 million actually is Ghetto Kids, and they are the ones who did a really cool video promotion for us pertaining to this what I'm saying as far as not supporting this particular animation. So Ghetto Kids is awesome, and they are everything, and I love them, and those are my babies, and I feel like they all came out of my stomach. But and I know them because we do have Kids Explosion in Uganda. We are licensed there, and so we do programs there
Awesome.
as well. Uh, but we pretty much we made a promotion where the kids acted. They're just awesome, those kids. But that is actually what Kids Explosion does. We promote and celebrate youth talent. So whatever gift, talent, skill, or ability your child has, you come see us, and we make sure that they are flourishing and shining in that gift and talent. And so, Kid Explosion is my baby. So, see, Good Times is my father's baby, and
Yeah.
I'm very good steward with it over it. But Kid Explosion is my little baby, who is now 14, actually. So he's not
Yes.
he or she. I've been doing this for 14 years. Not four.
Wow.
And so, but yeah, we started in Georgia with running summer camps, and we then expanded into Gwinnett County, where we had multiple locations. We still do. We still run in Gwinnett County. And then in 2016, it was Ghana was actually our first international outreach, and it just spread so much from there.
Awesome.
I love it. I really do. I wake up every day excited. We have really great things going in Dubai, UAE, and so it's just awesome, and that's what I do. So in doing this video promotion, again, to let people know, please don't support this animation. We had to do it with the kids. It's an animation. So and
Yeah.
then what better way to do it is by celebrating the talent of our babies,
Right.
okay? And so it's a great way to, of course, learn more about Kids Explosion, see all that we're doing, but also to celebrate the talent of the kids. So yes, it's smart, it's strategic, but hopefully effective in making sure that people don't support, this animation, and let's keep these images, out of our kids. If we're going to show our kids some images, let's show them, being bankers or
Yes,
teachers or
ma'am.
educators or
Yes, ma'am.
kings and queens, not strippers, drug dealers, and foolishness. And oh God, it's terrible. That script is terrible. They're calling each other the B word and everything. It is so ratchet,
Wow.
Sheree. I'm like, what is this?
Right.
Like, anyway. So
Wow.
the point is, though, I utilize a business, of course, I'm running anyway with Kids Explosion to make sure that the word is spread, and so that people can certainly support and not view it, and also hopefully look more into Kids Explosion and see what we do.
Most definitely. I love it. Those kids are all over the place. I even follow them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even know you were behind that. I didn't even
Oh,
know. I didn't even know you were behind that, but you every so often you will fall into my spirit, and I would reach out to you, to see how you were doing. And I did not know that. I had a lot going on in my life too, within the past 11 years, but God. But yeah, girl, I am so proud of you. I am very, very proud of you. And I also wanted to ask you, so what was the meaning behind the name Ghetto Kids?
Well, that is them. So they're independent. That they have their own thing going on. But I will, because I am aware. So in Uganda, of course, or in a lot of places in Africa, the children like that live in slums are very poor. Okay, so it's not poor like we see in America. They don't have anything. A lot of I've seen babies, they never had shoes at all. Right? They oftentimes live in mud huts. So what they do is he literally gets children with talent that are in the ghettos. And so I know this name might be offensive, I guess, in America, because it would be like, what, ghetto kids? But technically, it's him saying that these children literally came out of the ghettos, and they
Mm,
did. So he
okay.
has over 30 children that he is taking care of, and just amazing, amazing. So he's literally rescued them, and he goes and looks for talent, and he's awesome. And it's not just him. There's several dance groups out of Uganda that are similar. There's a lot of dances. This is one of the reasons we're in Uganda. There's so much talent. But even with all the talent, of course, unfortunately, a lot of those kids can't afford education. So only 17% actually make it to middle school
Mm,
or know how to read and are educated, etc. So anyway, this was an opportunity for me to support those kids too, right? And doing an advertisement, support and celebrate those babies, making sure that they get what they need. They eat every day because he's taking care of a lot of kids. So, but
wow.
again, that's just one group of many, and
Right.
that's the culture and atmosphere in Uganda. Yeah.
Kudos to him. Kudos to you all. And God bless those children, all children. And I did see the video that you sent me with the different programs and the activities that you guys have with these kids. It's awesome.
Yeah, so and that's like you said, we started in Georgia. We then were in Ghana next. I think yeah, Ghana was first, and then after Ghana just came everybody else. And now Kenya, Uganda, UAE. We just everywhere, and I will say I do have a mission within my heart and spirit that I would love to sincerely serve every country in the world. That's my heart. And so God just has placed that inside of me. So any child that doesn't have anything at all, I'm their mom, if that makes sense. I know that. I wake up with that on me. So
Wow.
I fight the good fight. I keep working no matter what country, because there's a lot of sacrifices for this. I'm in
Yes.
different countries all the time. I'm always all over the place, but I can tell you, I mean, I've served children a lot of places now, many countries, many cultures, especially when you deal with the Middle East and UAE. The children have a lot of money. They have a lot, right? And obviously, I know the other end of the spectrum where they have nothing, or maybe America where we're kind of in the middle, but serving all children all over. The one thing that is sound and that is accurate is they all have talent and they all want to share it and they all are valued and have a value and have a worth, and everything that's placed inside of them that it's supposed to be shared. So that's what I get to do. I get to go around, and make sure, especially our children that don't have anything, make sure that they know, listen, you may not have money, but you do have something, that's more valuable, and that's what God placed inside of you, and I get to give that message, and I just love it. So
Amen.
yeah, so that's what we do, and hopefully, like even with this promotion, with as far as the ghetto kids, them dancing, that you'll check us out and see what we're doing. We have a cool learn more video that you can watch. It's about 30 minutes, but it goes into a breakdown of the different countries we serve and shows you the kids enjoying themselves. And it's really cool. So it's a 30-minute video, and we're even giving incentives to those who may donate or support. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, of course, in U.S., so you can make donations taxable. And if you donate $50, we are actually doing a giveaway for a vacation, and the vacation can be in any of the countries that we serve. So We're doing the person who wins. It's a trip for two. They can go to Kampala, Uganda. They can go to Nairobi, Kenya, or Dubai, UAE, or Accra, Ghana. So they got four options if that person wins, and all they have to do is make a $50 donation. So we're doing that, but you got to watch the 30-minute video so that you kind of can see, and it's really cool. So if you make a donation, awesome. If you're selected, then you get a free trip, and that's what we're doing, just to further celebrate. Not only that, we want people to come out and see what all we're doing. We have partnerships all over with various orphanages and schools. We even have a new partnership now in South Africa. So if you're interested in volunteering, working in the schools, definitely contact Kids Explosion. Look us up, see what we're doing, because we're just kicking it, having fun, and we would love to have you, your talent, your skill, your passion, so that we can share it with the kids.
Carlena, I love it. I love it. You're definitely a beautiful person with a beautiful spirit, and you're following your dreams and what God had called you to do. Keep it up. I encourage you to keep it up, girl. This is awesome. And I definitely was going to ask you about that incentive, but you brought it all in. Go ahead, girl. You on it.
Yeah, I tried it,
She was like, we're going to get this in.
Yeah.
But yes,
I
ma'am.
gotta let people know.
Yes, most definitely. Go ahead, girl.
People, listen. People spending money every day. We spend money every day. This is a really cool thing to put $50 on, because now at least you get a chance to go somewhere new and learn, and definitely supporting something worthwhile. So so hopefully I encourage people to watch it. Just see what we're doing, what we've done around the world, and I mean, see, as you see, we know ghetto kids over in Uganda. We know a lot of other kids too. If they're talented, we definitely. I probably am aware and probably work with them on some front or occasion, because that's what I do. I celebrate youth talent all over the world. So it's really, really, really cool and worth checking out the 30-minute video.
Yes, please check it out, you guys. I would definitely post the video links. Of course, I've showed it, throughout our interview here. And let everybody know real quickly where they can check you out.
Yeah, well, the best way is, I say, just go to the Linktree. They have this thing now with Linktree, because I'm kind of getting old, so I didn't know. And my son had to hit me. I was like, for real? They got a place where you can put all your links?
Oh, cool.
So yeah, go to our Linktree, Kids Explosion, and that way you can just see everything, because whatever you like, right? There's a flavor for that. So if you're like a TikToker and you want to see funny videos, cute things, we got that. And we're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're wherever you want to see us. I encourage the Dubai site, kidsexplosion.ae. Okay, so that AE is actually Emirates, so that's what that means. But go to the Dubai site and check us out and see, because that's more going to be international based. We do still have Kids Explosion USA. And you could see what's going on in U.S. But yeah, see what we're doing wherever we are.
Awesome. Yes, I would definitely post that. Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, Carlene, I want to thank you again for taking the time to come on to my talk show and update us on everything that you've been working on and what's going on with this animation, which is a no-go. And I want to thank you again and keep pressing forward, girl. Keep pressing forward.
Thank you. And I just want to remind everyone again, please do not support. If you see another press release or just don't support. Everything about this is no, right? Especially if you brown, okay? If you're orange, yellow, any race at all. This ain't a good look for us. Okay, this is not a good look. So I strongly encourage you not to support this, because the funding and the money and the people behind it, unfortunately, they're not for us, right? So I want us to be better, more aware of what we're supporting and what we're encouraging, and we do not want to encourage the degrading of ourselves.
All right. Yes,
that we're not gonna do that. I love Black people. I love us.
Carlene.
I love y'all. But can we not celebrate, this kind of stuff? Let's not.
All right. Well, thank you again
That's
for
fine.
taking the time out and for getting this message out. And I want everybody to remember to always just let's talk about it. And have a good night, everybody.